Swim check 1, 2. Bike check 1, 2. Run check 1, 2. I think we're ready. Let's try this. Welcome to the Try Beginner's Luck podcast, a podcast where we explore the sport of triathlon from a variety of perspectives to help beginner triathletes on their journey. I am your host, Mashonda Shines. Welcome back to another edition of Try Beginner's Luck. We're in the middle of December, and I feel like as I'm continuing to grow in this sport and grow in doing this podcast, I am still amazed by the guests that I get to have on the show. And it probably will always be like that because I love people so much. And I really want to be able to help others be inspired to do things that may push themselves out of their comfort zone and to really brave whatever may scare them. And even if it doesn't go the way you desired the first time, that you don't give up, but that you keep trying and trying again. I have a funny story about trying that I'll share over the course of the next couple of episodes and into the next year. But when I think about like my life and the things that I've had to overcome in life, I've not always gotten it on the first time. And I realized that I've had to like go back to the drawing board, start over and do it again. And that's what I kind of sort of did this year. And throughout this year of just going back to the basics, it's taught me that it is okay to hit the reset and start over. And to some, it could be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I've gotten to this place where I'm good. Well, perhaps you are. But for those who are okay with being students and constantly learning, it's okay to start over, refresh your skills, and perhaps try it in a different way to see what results may come of that. And with that, I think one of the things that I've had to try to get over is making ask. Yes, I am a very confident woman, but I can sometimes get really squirrely when it comes to asking people for things, especially when it comes to me. If it's on behalf of anyone else, I have not a problem asking for it. I will go boldly and be like, hey, such and such needs this. Can you help them out? When it comes to me, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Should I feel? Should I ask? I get all squirrely. And that's what happened when I saw initially two sisters come across a finish line. They were holding hands, and I said, let me go up and say hello and offer the invitation to be on my podcast. And so I did just that. You'll hear more about the story because one of them was like, I don't have time for this. I just finished a whole Ironman. I am not dealing with this girl. And I get it, but I needed to be bold in that moment because I saw something that I wanted to know more about, and I hope that my audience would too. Because we've always been an international podcast and have listeners all over the globe. Like if I go back and trace back to our first couple of audiences, we've had listeners in Australia, we've had listeners in Germany, we've had listeners in Europe and on the continent of Africa. And so we've always had listeners, but I believe that this is my first time bringing sisters who are from the continent to this podcast. And baby, I am thrilled about it. So these women, I already know, lead with so much heart. And as athletes, they are powerful in their own right. But as sisters, they are unstoppable. Was able to talk to them for a little bit because we are literally all over the globe. Two of the sisters are in South Africa, one is in Missouri, and I'm in Washington, D.C. We got the whole world right here in our hands, and I am here for it. Well, with that said, this interview initially started off with just two of the sisters. But as I was talking to one of them, I was like, so tell me a little bit more about your story. And she was like, well, actually, we can't leave out our little sister. And I said, excuse me? There's another? And there is. And so we're just going to get right into it. And I get to welcome Amelia Moses Hicks, Letitia Moses Roestoff, and Zarina Moses Jardine to the Try Beginner's Luck podcast. Ladies, welcome to Try Beginner's Luck. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Glad to be on your show.
Well, thank you. Look at these smiles. We got one who's
Great.
one with her Betty outfit, which is how I discovered them because I saw them with this pink. Both of them had on Betty, and I was like, "Oh, look at these Betty baddies. Who are they?" And that's really how. Besides that, and then holding hands and being women of color, I was like, "These are my people. How do I get them on the podcast?"
Well, we are so excited to be here. I will say it was Letitia was the sister that was like, I just finished the Iron you because I will say she is a very extreme introvert. And then there's me, the very extreme extrovert. So I was like giving you the hugs. I was talking to you. They were like, come on, let's go.
I love it because I do. I could tell it. I was like, I'm not pushing it. I was like, just give me one of your emails. I'll figure it out. And then I happened to be in stalker mode because I was like, I shouldn't say stalker. That sounds so weird. I was in research mode. And so the email address that I initially got bounced back. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I got to figure this out. And so I ended up being able to research Letitia on Instagram and was able to connect with her. And I was like, this is all going to work out. And then I just through trial and error figured out the right address for you, Amelia. And then Zarina, you are our lucky guest for today, who was the incredible Sherpa. So, fun fact: Letitia and Amelia did Ironman California and did the race together, and Zarina was the Sherpa as well as Amelia's husband. But he's not a part of the sister tribe, so he can come on at a different time. But this is about the sisters. So let's just get right into this particular moment and experience. I'm sure you've done other races together. How did you all even get started in triathlon? And before I mention that, I do want to say that Letitia and Amelia went to University of Missouri on golf scholarships.
Yes.
And Amelia is in the Athletic Hall of Fame. So these are already boss babes when it comes to athletics. But let's dig into that story. So coming into triathlon, how did that work?
So I actually have a funny story about multi sports. So I really wanted to get into triathlon because of I was a runner and had a running injury, and so because of that, I was like, if we did multi sport like triathlon, there'd be you'd be less injury prone because you're practicing three different disciplines. And I did one race. I did a duathlon, my very first duathlon, and I had this like really big, heavy bike, and everybody was just like zooming by me, and I just couldn't understand it. I'm like pedaling my life away. So I will say the bike does make a difference. And so it was Letitia that was like telling me all about like the type of bike and stuff that I need, and we did research. I got to Zarina and Letitia because she's the cyclist and Zarina was the swimmer. And so I was like, you know what, we should triathlon. And it was right around COVID, wasn't it?
Mm,
This
did-
was right around that COVID time. And we were like, and Zarina jumped on it. Letitia was a little bit hesitant because of the swimming. Letitia doesn't swim. And actually, this is such her story. And I'll let you tell it, Tish, just of overcoming that anxiety, that water anxiety, being in the water, let alone being in like, we were in a river, fast moving water, um, but both of them are so epic. They swam, what was it?
the Robin Island crossing.
Okay, so it's kind of like Alcatraz, the Alcatraz swim here, but it's a 4 mile swim. Like how far is it? 8 kilometers? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's about 8 kilometers from. So it's where President Nelson Mandela was held prisoner. So we swam from the Robin Island, where the prison is, from there to Bloberg. So it's a like an 8K swim that
In the ocean.
Zarina and I did. Yeah.
Wow.
So we were playing a video. Zarina was playing a video yesterday, actually, and her son posted they're still alive. They weren't eaten by sharks or something like that. When we finished,
Wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So saying that kind of sent some chills down my body, right? One that's powerful that you, Letitia, had was very apprehensive about the swim and ended up swimming 4 miles in the ocean.
yeah.
I, what made you say, okay, if I'm going to do this, I want to know more about the story.
So what happened was, so initially with the triathlon thing, so I did a few races, and well, the swimming was always a challenge, and I would get pulled out like after 100 meters. Sometimes I'd go to the race and I wouldn't even get into the water. Like it was a few attempts. And the one race, our first race we did together, Zarina and I, our very first sprint triathlon. We trained for a whole year for the sprint triathlon. And then as we're about to get into the water, Zarina dives, like holding my hand, and I'm like, no, I'm not going. But then I did go in, but it was quite traumatic experience, that whole swim for me. And so I really struggle with open water. But then our very first 70.3 we did in Durban, and there was big waves and it was hectic. And so Zarina was going to swim with me, but then we got split up. A big wave split us up. But before the wave could split us up, she made sure, well, she came back and found me, and she told the lifeguards there that they're not allowed to take me out of this water. She's finishing the swim. And that day I finished the swim, and I've never been afraid of open water again, ever. So now I can swim anywhere and everywhere. I just got over that fear. It was just like a woof, it's there, it's done. It's like something clicked in my brain, and I was like, I'm over this, I can do this. And now I can swim anywhere and everywhere. But it was funny how on the day we did California, the Ironman California, so the water was very murky, the river and stuff. So I was freaking out a bit. Like the day before the swim, I could only do 300 meters. And I was like, oh no, how am I going to do this? So Zarina was like very encouraging, just go a little bit in, come out, go again, come out. But the morning of the swim, there was these guys next to us, and they also triathletes. This guy just came up to me, and this is how good God was to me, right? This guy says, I have a pair of booties that's 5 to 7 the size. Do you want them? I could swear you could read the booties for your feet. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, wow. So it took a bit of the muddiness and stuff off my, like, that initial entry and stuff. So yeah, I got handed a pair of booties that assisted me with my swim. So, it was just like everything worked out that day perfectly well. Also, my tires were quite deflated when we went and checked, because the temperature dropped quite drastically that evening. My tires were deflated. And then the same guy that handed me the booties, like, assisted me with the pump and got my tires pumped up for me and everything. So the triathletes really look out for each other, and the kindness we experienced in California was amazing.
I love that about this sport. And I don't want to, wow, this is already so rich. My brain is like, where do we go? One, so many people struggle with the swim, Letitia. And the fact that you had a couple of occurrences where you wouldn't make it 100 meters, you said, and was pulled out and were pulled out of the water for a couple of races. And then you kept trying and going after it is admirable, because some people would have just stopped and quit. And so when I gave my introduction at the beginning, you absolutely get it because you've lived it. You're like, okay, I didn't get it the first time. Cool. I'm going to keep trying, and I'm not going to try. And then it clicked for you. And that's what it's like. And some people may have more of a natural ability, and some people have to try a little differently. But either way, it's about getting out there and doing it. And then the generosity of the people in this sport, unmatched. Like, he gave you a pair of booties. That means he carried extra, and he was mindful of someone else. And I love the triangles that we have in this space, who come up and show up at the right moment to help make everything all right.
Definitely.
And Zarina, thank you for telling your sister, just go out a little bit. So if you were the swimmer, when did this love for swimming happen, or were you always a natural swimmer?
Yes, so I started swimming when I was little, primary school. We lived in a community where we had a public pool, so we would just go there all the time. And I joined the club, did swimming, got my colors as a junior for, I think at that time, it was Johannesburg. And just took from there. I did life saving. I did a lot of open water swimming, a lot of open water training as well. So I was quite comfortable and confident in the water. And my sisters, obviously, that didn't feed off them as much as like the golf didn't feed off onto me. So yeah, it just took off from there. The Robben Island swim was always a dream of mine, Ironman as well. And Letitia was always like, she's never, ever, ever in her life going to do that. No ways, I can do whatever. I bribed her so many times. And she literally went from not being able to do a lap in a pool to swimming, being dropped off. They literally drop you off in the middle of the ocean, and you just have to swim following a little boat. So yeah, Migs as well, she doesn't quite love the ocean. She's more comfortable with rivers and lakes. So I'm still trying to convince her about, getting in the ocean, just swimming in a bay. The water's quite flat and glassy. It's as good as a river. Sometimes the rivers, I think the one we swam in Ohio last year was as big as an ocean and as choppy as the ocean as well. So they can do it.
I don't
They
know.
got me to bike.
It's my goal for my 50th to do an ocean swim Ironman, and Zarina will do she said she would do the Ironman with us. So we're going to hold her accountable because she kind of, got out of doing California. She was supposed to do California, but we understood, she didn't quite have the time commitment to train because it is a huge time commitment. The training is a huge time commitment. But she's not going to get out of doing the ocean swim. We're thinking Cozumel, but we'll see how it goes.
Nice. And so would this be Cozumel 26 or 27?
27, because next 26 I'm doing Portugal. I've already entered for Portugal. And
I think it's 28.
It's 26. Yeah, 2028. Cozumel 2028, yeah. And
so Cozumel 2028?
Yes. That's
what year are we in now?
25. We're going to go into 26 now.
So 26 is Portugal for you.
Yes. And then 27, my family's going to South Africa. So we're going to do either Durban. We're thinking that would be an ocean swim for me. I'm not.
You're going to do Durban ocean swim. It's short. It's a short one. You can do it.
Come on, sister. You better tell her on these webs, on this podcast, that she can do it.
It's so funny. She's like, it's all business. I don't know if you've noticed this. She's just all business. Okay. You don't mess around with
And she's the younger sister, y'all.
I know.
I love it. You better tell your older sisters what's up. Thank you, Zarina.
My mother calls her the CEO of the family. She keeps us all together. It's like, whenever we're traveling or anything, Zarina's got all the plans because she's an accountant. So she's got everything like all organized and all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, so.
You wouldn't have got the times wrong if she was doing this today.
Okay.
That was shots fired. Y'all, let me tell you what happened. So Amelia was the organizer. And she gave us all the times for the different time zones. Like she suggested, can we do it this time Eastern, this time Central, and this time South African time? And somehow it was all backwards. And so it got a little confusing. And so that's what Letitia is referencing.
Well, I think it's because I thought you were in California, Mashanda. And so that's why when you said DC, I'm like, wait a minute, you ahead, not behind.
Yeah.
That's where I messed up. And then I don't know where I got Letitia's time. I don't know. But like Letitia said, probably would not have happened if Zarina was handling the arrangements.
But it became a beautiful blessing because we were able to make this happen and everybody was able to hop on. It's probably 5:50 your time, Amelia?
6:50.
6:50. So it's 6:50 your time, and this is 6:50 a.m. Let me be very clear, because we had to get up. I got up early. When I saw that 7:00 a.m., I was like, oh God, I got to get up early in the morning. Because I'm good. I'm a morning person, but I'm not a morning person to talk to people. Like, I need to warm up, But I'm glad, because you guys are, like I said, you guys are my coffee today, and you are really, I'm loving this.
That's so funny. Letitia's she needs to warm up to people in general.
Yes, that's why I was like running away from you at the finish line. I was like, oh God.
Don't sound like you're running away from me, Letitia. That sounds so weird.
Amelia embraced you.
You know what was so cool in the race? We started together and we finished together. It was just like perfect. Like our race was perfect. You could tell like God was there. And, for me, it was really, because like you said, Mashanda, I don't look like a typical triathlete, Ironman. Like I am an Ironman, right? But, I am fluffy and let's just call it how it is, I've got all, and I just don't look. You just step up to the starting line and you look around and it's almost like you don't belong, but it's knowing that you are running your race and this is your race to run. Um, swim, bike, and run. You know, we started together and then I left the water first and then Letitia passed me on the bike. And Letitia's just a strong, she's just a strong cyclist, right? And then I caught up with her on the run at around mile 21. And then we just decided we're going to finish together. And then it was so perfect because my lights weren't working and I didn't have like a flashlight. I didn't have like a body light, and there were so many parts that were really dark. And so right when I met Letitia, it was like at the perfect time because it was so dark. And so she was like my light, and I kind of helped her through the run, and she kind of lit the path for me like she always does. And it was just, I was so emotional thinking about how she just always lights up my path. And the three of us, coming from our trauma background, and then also just playing golf during apartheid, there's that trauma too. Growing up during apartheid and just making it through, coming to the United States, but knowing that even in life there's just so many metaphors there. Even through life, we started together and we will finish together. And it was just so magical. And it was so funny because we had it all planned. We were gonna hold hands and but then we got to the finish line. We're looking for the bell and we couldn't find the bell because it was my first Ironman. Letitia has done 3 already. It was my first one. So she's like, you got to ring the bell. And we couldn't find the bell. And so we were just like looking for it. And we forgot to hold our hands. And we were like, no, let's just hold our hands and finish. So it was funny.
So I feel a lot. And before you said that Letitia lights the way for you, I had already registered that. And I was like, wow, like she has paved the way for you all in a lot of different ways. And the fact that, when you set out to do an Ironman, most people, even if they're doing it with someone, they still race their own race. And you all did that. You raced your own race, and somehow it was appropriate and the timing was right for you all to finish together, especially with your first one. And that's a memory that you will cherish forever. Like your light going out and those dark paths, I can only imagine what that was like because you can easily trip over uh, a, like a little thing like a pebble or a rock. And
Mm-hmm.
yet having that light for your sister being there to light the path, not literally, but also figuratively, is a really powerful symbolism of Letitia, you all being your sister's keeper
Yeah.
and experiencing so much. And when you talk about not looking like the typical Iron Man, um, none of us who are people of color look like the typical Iron Man. That's a starter, right? But then when you add on the shapeliness of what we get to carry, and you talked about being fluffy, which I think is hilarious because I'm fluffy, and that just adds extra layers of those who are watching you and who are saying, well, what if she can do it, I can too.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's the impetus of this podcast. I didn't see, as an announcer and a woman who's been announcing for 7, going on 8 years, I hadn't seen many women of color doing what I do. And I also noticed that people in the podcast space wasn't doing this and weren't highlighting everyday triathletes. And I said, well, I wonder if there's more. And since discovering this, I am finding that. And I think it's important when we don't see ourselves that we help to amplify what that looks like for others so that we can encourage more people to be a part of it. So thank you for showing up so that I could see you because I was inspired. And thank you, Letitia, for running away from me because I love how we can be authentically us and still show up and be. And that's all we have to do is just be.
Yeah, and that I think even with Zarina, like we just call her and she shows up, and whenever we need her, she's just there, and she's always just there, keeping us together, keeping us accountable. Like she's even like, no, you can do this. You can do this. Our positive little voice there in the back, like she has her ways, like telling the guy, don't take her out of the water, let her swim, and that was all Letitia needed to get over her fear, like knowing that, okay, I'm not going to get picked up here, I need to swim, and then realizing that she can do this.
Now, Zarina, you were also at Ironman California, but in a different capacity. And even though they don't have a medal for Sherpas, let me give you a medal and say thank you, because I was out there Sherpaing too. And baby, you were doing a whole Ironman as well in a
Yep.
different capacity. What was that like, seeing your sisters compete together and be out there together? What was that feeling for you like?
I was grateful that I could be part of it. So initially, I wasn't going to do the trip, but in the end, I was actually glad that I made that trip and went with them. I can't imagine Letitia finding a way around California, trying to find food alone. Oh gosh, no. But um, it was very special for me, with Amelia's being her first one. Being able to be their support, keeping them on time, keeping them on track. Like, come on, I literally said, you need to move now. Come, let's move it. You're a little bit slow. Can we speed it up a little bit? Like, guys, you've got 7 hours, you've got 7:30. Let's move on, move on. And when I saw Mix, I was like, okay, come, she's right up ahead of you. Speed up, you'll be able to catch her. But. And it's also very stressful, as beautiful as what it was to see them, fight through it, fight through the pain. Tish was in agony. I could just see those running steps. It's like, God, never again. Why am I here? Jeez, I traveled all this way just for this. Ah. So it was nice to see them push through. They always show so much perseverance and determination just to finish. So for me, it was quite special seeing that. We obviously, myself and Charles, were running behind them, trying to find them, see where they were. We couldn't have a still moment because it started getting dark and we were stressed. So it was extremely emotional for me when I saw them take the bend in the park with Tish and her light and the two of them shuffling along. So that like really hit me. I think I got most emotional at that point. And leaving them and like, okay, guys, you got to finish this on your own now. Let's go. You're almost there. Few more miles to go. And seeing them finish, it was special to be part of that. They didn't need the extra stress about their bikes or their gear at the end. They could really just take it in, soak it up, and then just moan about pain afterwards. And Amelia listened to me. She did a bit of an ice bath in the pool, so she recovered nicely. Tish, very stubborn, doesn't need to get into the water when she doesn't need to. So she was like, nah. And yeah, the after effects hit her for a few days. But yeah, it was special for me, and I'm grateful that Migs made it possible for me to go on that trip with them. And I look forward to the next races that we'll be doing together.
I love that.
Portugal and Cozumel.
I don't know so much about Portugal. Carl?
You're on your own for Portugal, girl. No.
Need a Sherpa.
I have a team with you there at Portugal, so it's good. Like, I was stressed when I learned that you'd be on your own in California for a few days.
Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this. So Letitia, you came over to the States a couple of days early, or initially you were going to come by yourself, but Zarina was able to come with you before Amelia was able to join you.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. And
Because she
so,
needed more time to acclimate, coming with the jet lag and stuff, coming from South Africa. So we said, she needs to be there a couple of days earlier than I needed to be in California.
that makes sense. And so next up, Zarina, you said you're doing Portugal as well?
No, please don't plant that seed now. Don't.
Okay, you said
They-
Cozumel, but then I heard Portugal and wasn't sure. I was like, oh, you're doing Portugal too? Because I heard Amelia said she could be the Sherpa. I did hear that correctly, right?
Oh,
I think
wow. Sherpa is hard work.
We'll see. I'm just excited. So, but for sure, Letitia is doing Portugal.
Definitely, yes. I'm entered.
All right, we're entered.
Did
So,
you know, Mashanda, that in 2024, last year, all three of us did Ironman Ohio 70 point together, all three of us.
I was just about to ask, have you all raced together? So doing Ironman 70.3, what was that like to do it together?
That was amazing. Our
I'm
first
glad you
one.
think so.
Okay.
Hot
Well,
and flat.
well, let's give you some background story, Mashanda. Zarina had surgery, I think a month or so before, or 2 months or so before the race, before she had to travel. And then
4
she had
weeks.
to be off for 8 weeks because of the surgery. So she basically, but just a testament to her, just her grit, and perseverance, she did it and she finished.
Wow.
They wanted to take me off the course. I was like, no, thank you. I came very far. I'm finishing this race. Off you go.
Is that, is that what you told the officials? Off you go.
Yes. I was like, off you go. Thank you. I'll finish.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. What was it like for you, Amelia and Letitia? Because Zarina was like, I went there, I survived it, I pushed through after having surgery, which is incredible. And Letitia, I think you said it was amazing. Or was
Well,
that
yeah,
Amelia?
Last year was the first year since was it 8 years, Z, that we've seen each other, or 12?
For me, it was 12 years. First
12.
time seeing you after 12 years. Yeah.
Yes.
So that
Wow.
was nice. And my first international trip also.
Wow.
So that was why
Triathlon
it
has
was
brought you all
so epic.
together.
What did you
yes.
say,
Yes.
Sandra?
Triathlon has brought you all together.
It has, in just a very magical, majestic way. Because like Z said, Z was the swimmer, not the golfer. Me and Tish were the golfers, not the swimmers. And we were never able to come together on one accord. And this really has brought all three of us together on that same wavelength, that same accord where we can connect, and we train together. Like, we call each other. Yesterday was the first morning I didn't call, and Letitia was like, what's going on? Why didn't you call us this morning? And so we talk to each other on the phone every day. But triathlon, like, we train, we touch base with our training, and so we train together. And Zarina coaches, because she teaches swimming, so especially to the little guys, she teaches swimming at her club, right? See,
It's a swim school.
a swimming school. And so it just has really, we have like now one mind, one passion, and it's just so epic that we are able to come together.
Yeah, I remember last year when we trained for hire, there was many days where we would be on the bike chatting to each other. We'd be on the bike or treadmill. Someone's running, someone's on the bike, and we'd just be chatting away. We'd really pass the time nicely.
Wait a minute. So who's running and talking while everyone else is on the bike? I need to learn that trick. Who's that?
So we would
Not me.
like indoor. We'd be on our indoor, either the treadmill or the bike on the trainer indoor, and we just
Our
be
screens,
chatting.
FaceTime.
Yeah, we'd FaceTime each other while we would be training.
Yeah. And it passes the time. Okay, fine. We're like, because it's zone 2 running, right? When you're doing longer runs, and in Missouri when it's cold, over the winter and stuff. So it's always
I don't
fun.
think Tish ever feels a run is a zone 2 though.
I don't enjoy running.
Letitia, we have more in common than you think. Because I'm like, to run and talk, even in
So
zone 2,
we-
I'm like, but I can see how that allows one just the opportunity for time to pass, and the bond can grow stronger because you guys are seeing each other do it together. And that's really what it's about. And so you all got into sport, I think in 2021 was the first year that all of you did a triathlon.
Yes.
Yeah, it was during COVID and everyone had like these little goals and we were in lockdown, couldn't run anywhere, run little very far. We'd run in our backyard and we decided, hey, maybe we should train for Ironman or something like that. And that's kind of how it started.
So let's
Started with you two. I had nothing to do with this.
You guys wanted hair dryers. That was how you
So
got your hair dryers.
I'm scratching
that
my
we
head
don't
right
use.
here. So you all did not start with a sprint or an Olympic. You went straight to the 70.3 distance?
No, we
Yeah,
did a sprint.
we did a sprint
Okay.
and then 70.3.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not unheard of. That's why I was like, wait. Okay, so you did your first sprint at 70.3 in the same year?
The
Was it the
following
same year?
year.
The following year, because then
Mm.
it was COVID. We were still heavy in COVID and lockdown. So a lot of the events deferred to the year
Yeah.
after.
My
Okay.
first my first Ironman was in 2022, and I DNF'd that one. I didn't finish. Like, I finished the swim, but I didn't finish it in enough time. I had a panic attack. My wetsuit was strangling me. I was in the water and took my wetsuit off in the water, and I put it the um
One of the boats?
JT.
on the boat, yeah. And then I finished swam the rest of the way. And then you're supposed to finish it in 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I finished it in 1 hour and 19 minutes, and I didn't. And they told me I couldn't finish the race. So I was like, oh, I was so disappointed. But on the drive home, I called up Letitia and Zarina, and I signed us up for, I said, I'm going to do another one. And I signed up for Ohio. And then my husband, Charles, when we did Ohio that next year in 2023, I finished, but he DNF'd for the swim because he has that same swim anxiety. And so he didn't finish, and then he was like, no, I have to do Ohio again. So after that race, I got on the phone with Letitia and Zarina. I said, okay, come, we're all gonna do Ohio, and you guys are gonna come over, and we're all gonna do Ohio 70.3 in 2024. And they were like, okay. So we did.
I think
love that.
initially we wanted to go back to the one you didn't finish because we wanted to like punish
Yeah.
it.
We wanted to punish
And
it.
then
They don't have steelhead anymore because we wanted to get steelhead back. I wanted to get in that river and just show it who's boss. But then they canceled it. So
That's so unfortunate when they cancel races, but I also understand for
yeah.
different reasons on why they cancel. But you're like, I just want to go back and show that. I totally get that.
So
Any
maybe
first
when you
time
come you can do
memories?
Mossel Bay mix.
probably maybe.
What did you say, Zarina?
We have an Ironman in 70.3 in Cape Town that myself and Letitia also didn't finish, and we do want to go back there and make amends. So maybe putting it out there for Amelia to come down and finish it with us.
That's a
That
good one.
yeah, if it all works out for sure.
Let me ask this because I know there's a huge contingency from the states that are going to South Africa this year for the 21st Ironman South Africa. Yeah, because they just celebrate 20 years, so it'll be the 21st. Have you all ever done the full Ironman South Africa? Because I heard this year they're doing it together. So, Letitia, you've done the 70.3, but still have some unfinished business, but you've done the full?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've done the 70.3 in PE and the full in PE. So the year before I didn't finish the full, and then I went back the following year and finished it. So this year I did the PE full and I did the California full. So I did 2 fulls in 1 year this year. So this year it was the 20th anniversary of that race. So you're saying a lot of people are coming for the 21st edition. I'm not doing the 21st next year. I'm gonna do Portugal.
Right.
Rather.
So, okay. Well, look at that. You did 2 races in 1 year
I,
coming from a person who couldn't even finish the swim and then swam 4 miles in the ocean to then finish 2 amazing open water swims. Because I think South Africa is in the ocean as well, right?
Yes. That one's an ocean swim,
Yes,
definitely. And
that's the
it's
ocean.
a rough one. It's a hard swim, that one.
It goes out,
telling it,
not in a bay.
I'm telling it. I'm not buying it.
So that's cool. So that was my thing, to do a local Ironman and an international Ironman in 1 year.
Nice.
And then
And you thought you were done.
I thought I was done. I said, I'm not doing another one. And then like a week later, signed up for Portugal.
Wow. I'm always amazed at people who say they're not doing another one and then immediately sign up for another because there is something about the training, the going along, that really is kind of sort of like therapy. A
The
little bit.
discipline. So what it's done for me, I can speak for myself, is that like we come from golf, we were professional golfers, so we were very disciplined. We practice and train every day. So what this has done is like the training has allowed me to continue with being disciplined by doing something every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a different channel, which it keeps me grounded. So that's why I enjoy doing and also connecting with my friends and stuff. So I'll book like on Sunday, my one friend's already booked that we're gonna ride out in the cradle where most of the cyclists ride in Johannesburg. Yeah. So nice to plan things with friends.
And that's the one thing I love about the sport. You have such a community. Like I have like my swim friends, and then I have like my run friends, because my one person that I ride with, she doesn't run because she has plantar fasciitis and stuff. And you have your group that you run with, and then you have your group that you try with, and just being a part of even like Betty Squad and seeing the Bettys out there, and you just have such a close knit community. And then what makes it even so much tighter is like when you have your family, just like it said, just bringing me, Z, and Tish like so close together, which in the past we really haven't been. It was really triathlon that really made us like really tight.
What would you say? We didn't really dive into your first time stories, and I think that's okay because we've been sprinkling in like a little bit of items from your first race and first experiences, and I think the conversation has just been rich on its own. Now I want to talk specifically to the beginners. Having started this sport in 2021, now it's 2025, 4 years. What would you say to your newbie self now that you've completed your Ironman? We'll start there first.
So what's interesting when I think like Letitia's saying, and even Zarina, just how we were raised, having those big goals. So when I started, I went to my bike guy and I said, I want a bike that will get me to 140.6. So I always had 140.6 Ironman at the back of my mind and was always working towards that. And it's interesting because when I finished, it came out in the works that, there were quite a few people that didn't think I would finish, because, I am not the fastest. I basically at the thresholds of it in my swim, in my bike, even in my run, my jog, you know. Um, and I would say, just stick with your goals. And one thing that it taught me was I was so concerned that, I didn't lose the weight that I was anticipating that I would lose in training. I would say, for my beginning self, you can finish it, show up with your best version and race with that version, and you will be able to finish. Whatever that version is, you know what I'm saying? I think so many people think they're supposed to be and look a certain way, but you show up as you and you race your race.
You ate that. Yes, that's the new symbol. Yes, I love it. Okay, Zarina or Letitia, whoever wants to go next, tell me what you would tell your beginner self.
You go,
You go.
Z. I don't know.
Okay, so well, for me, it was a bit different to Amelia and Tish. I didn't always have, so while I have the community, I can't always use them because times just clash. I don't always have I thought for the very beginning that I would maybe not be able to do it because I didn't have the time that it took, for the training and that stuff. So for me, it took a different type of dedication. I had to wake up really early to make sure that I got my training done very early or really late at night so that I was still able to carry on doing the rest of my stuff, work, studies, home. And I was like, I see everyone else. So if you coming in new, it's basically do what you can. Don't be too hard on yourself, but make it good quality. So the time that I spent training, I really did it with all my heart and tried to push whatever I could into it, because I tell Tisha and them also, a lot of my guys, I tell my kids the same thing, that what you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you're going to skimp on your training, you're going to skimp on your race, and you're not going to feel your best during that time. So, make the time that you're in worthwhile. So, when you're racing, you've worked really hard for it, and it's worth that medal at the end of the day. So it was a bit hard for me to train and all the time and hours that they give you. So I had to just this is my goal. I had to stay true to myself. This is what I jotted down in pen, because pencil you can erase. When it's pen, it's there, it's marked, it's not leaving it. And yeah, that was just for me. And when I could finish my first one, it was a 70.3. It was an Ironman brand, but I did it with Letitia. We flew down to Durban and we did it together. We were together on the bike. The swims, we got split on the swim, but we stuck to the bike together, and she passed me on the run because I started feeling a bit sick, but I finished and she came back to look for me. And, we have this ideal, like Meg says, you need to look a certain way or train a certain way or have certain gear to be able to do stuff like that. But you don't really need to go to those lengths and extremes. It's really just what you put in going to determine your result at the end of the day, which was my case. And we've just moved forward from there.
Oh, yeah. You ate that too. Letitia, now you got to either clock it or you got to eat it. How you going to end us out with this segment?
Oh, I don't know.
The pressure
For
is
me,
on.
So I would just say, like, for me, I was there to try and show Amelia and Z the way, that it was their idea. They wanted to do triathlon, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And I embraced their thing and wanted to show them that it can be done. So I set out to do the first full Ironman. Amelia wanted to do a full Ironman, and I went and did it. And I tried to show them that it can be done. So but what I wanted to illustrate to them was that even with no matter how much failure, that you can succeed, just keep trying. Because like I had lots of failures, but I just kept going. I kept showing up, and I mean, you have to enjoy what you do. So that's why we do triathlons, right? We enjoy the pain.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna give you the clock. We clocked that. You ate that. Yes, you did both. I love that. Y'all, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. And I'm so grateful that this worked out to not just have two of the sisters, but all three of you, because that was the treat and the jolt of caffeine that I didn't know I needed this morning. So thank you so much. We have one little small part of the podcast that we don't let any guest leave without, and that's where we get to do rapid fire. So these questions are quick, and how we'll do it is a round robin. We'll go from, I'm going to say, the CEO, the youngest, to oldest. So that'll be the order for the questions. Cool?
Okay.
Okay. I flipped the script since Letitia is always leading the way and or painting the picture. Zarina is the CEO, and I see Amelia is like the glue and the one that's the fluid one that just makes sure everyone is okay and always checking to make sure everyone is good. Like I'm clocking the personalities and I love it. So, Zarina, the questions will start with you first. Cool?
Okay.
All right. Best South African phrase that Americans don't understand.
Oh gosh. No.
And
Yeah.
tell us what that means because we don't understand.
It can mean anything. Now can mean, so how far are you? No, I'll be there now. Meanwhile, you haven't even left home. You're still drinking coffee. So it can be now or in the next hour, in the next 5 hours. And you'll ask me in 5 minutes, where you now? I'll be there now.
I'm going to use that. Amelia?
Well, the same question?
Yes, same question.
Oh, okay. Lekker. Like it's lekker. Everything is lekker. So everything is 100%.
Tasty.
Everything is
Good.
good. We did lekker on the race. Look at Letitia sweating.
I think we just stressed Letitia out. We're like, oh God.
Can I chase this woman away that's following us?
Oh, that's
and
yours?
Me and Tish, we don't like
on the spots.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, what's your answer? Look, I'm putting pressure on you. Like, you're going to finish. What's your answer?
What's the
I have this one. What's it? How's it?
how's it? Oh,
Do you have
And
that?
tell us what that means.
Hello. It's just like hello. How are you? It's like hello. How are you? How's it?
like a all-in-one.
I love it. Who's more competitive? Which sister is more competitive?
Letitia.
Letitia.
Yes.
So you're affirming that you're more competitive.
She learned to
Definitely.
swim to make sure she's gonna finish and do an Ironman and do everything. She's that kind.
Okay. All right. What's one thing your sister does that makes you laugh?
But when they try and hide when they're eating,
Look, Zarina's got this, like where chewing sounds really bothers her. It's like a real thing. Letitia pointed out, and like mouth sounds and chewing sounds really bothers her ears. So whenever we're on the line, like even like if you're drinking coffee and you like slurp it or whatever, it really bothers Zarina. So we try to like hide and stuff. So that's funny. Um, I would say what makes me laugh when Letitia's just shopping.
I'm just
When
looking,
when she's just looking. Because usually that means it's done. She's bought it or something.
going home with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll
And then
say
also like how she's not a people person. That's always funny for me because she's got that face, it just wears it on her face. She can't hide it.
And Letitia?
what is the question?
Letitia's over me. She's like, look, you're over your time. We're almost done. No. What's one thing that your sister does that makes you smile?
This is my sisters. When we all call each other and when they laugh at my jokes.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been funny lately.
You know what? What's also funny is Zarina sends these memes. She's so good with the memes. Like she's got this one where they, the sisters pull each other's hair. And before, getting her on here, I'm throwing her under the bus now. She said, I'm pulling both your ears. We just laughed because we know the meme. We'll have to send it to you, Mashanda. It's pretty funny.
Please do. Which one humbles you the quickest? Swim, bike, or run?
Bike.
Like,
Run.
That's good. Best coffee, South Africa or the United States?
No, African, Ethiopian, Kenyan. Those are my favorites. Strong
Dark
brews.
roast.
yeah, I like the more flavored kind. So I'm really all about like the caramel flavor, hazelnut, and the vanilla flavors. So we have little opposite coffee tastes.
Yeah, we were stuck in your house with hazelnut coffee
Vanilla.
for 2 weeks, and
Now you hear the real story about your
I
coffee.
know, right? I didn't know this. I didn't
And
know
it's
this.
a little pot like this.
yeah, the tiny pot.
Ooh.
We have to stand there and then like, okay, you pour out, make another one. Didn't you just like, do you not have other flavored coffee? And then you bought vanilla. Like,
But
"Do
like
you not
everything
get
is big in
plain
America, and then we get this small coffee pot.
coffee?"
So, Amelia, do you do like the whole pour over or the pressed coffee?
Just the brew coffee. Like how it brews. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
feel all that judgment coming over here from South Africa. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure. I like our flavored coffee too. I'm standing with you, Amelia. I'll be the sister that stands with you, girlfriend.
Thank you, Michelle.
It's too
And
sweet.
and the final question that we don't let anyone leave the podcast without asking is, do you pee on the bike or get off and take a proper pee break?
I get off and take a proper pee break.
Okay.
It's
I,
like my
I
brain doesn't comprehend or allow me to let go if I'm not in a proper position. I can't pee in my wetsuit either.
Wow. Most people who can't pee on the bike can pee on their wetsuit, which is interesting, but you can't do either. Okay.
I do so how I did in California, I went after transition 1 and then I went in transition 2, and that was the only 2 times that I needed to go to the bathroom. So and I generally just try to go. Oh, and I did go before the swim. Remember we were all waiting and then I had to go. Yeah.
So I have peed in the wetsuit when we did Robben Island. Because that was a long time, and your body gets so cold, like your organs swell up, you have to pee in your wetsuit. And then I've tried to pee on the bike, but it's very difficult. But my one friend that's doing Portugal, because like if you're close on time, you have to do what you have to do to get through, right? So she taught me how you're supposed to do it. Because I was like, how do you pee on the bike? Because I tried and it wasn't working. But apparently you need to stand up. So you can't do it seated. So you need to stand up a little bit and then just have the butt cheeks off on the side of it. That's how you're supposed to do it. And I'm thinking you must maybe miss the chain and the derailleur side. So you must maybe have it on the left side or something.
Interesting. So you saw both of us practice it. I saw you, Amelia. You was like, let's let it. I was like,
Your bike back into the car.
No, so for California, it was so hot, right? There was no pee. Well, that's why we did it in the transition. I think we weren't taking enough liquid maybe on the bike. It was such a hot day.
I love it so much. Thank you again so much. We have the saying here at Trial Beginner's Luck, whenever you try, you always win. And I believe that to be true wholeheartedly. I don't know about y'all, but I hope this audience, y'all who are listening, really enjoyed this episode. This episode warmed my heart and gave me the jolt of energy I needed to continue my day on today. Remember to like, share, and follow. If you know someone who wants to try and you really care about them, be sure to send them this episode and send them all of our episodes for that matter. Be sure to subscribe and really follow what we're doing to share stories and motivate others to want to win. I'm your girl, Mashonda Miles, also known as Mashonda Shines. And for right now, and we're on Substack. So be sure to like us and follow us on Substack because we will be offering some different things out on that channel. All right, now it's officially. I'm Mashonda Miles, also known as Mashonda Shines. And for today, we are out. Peace. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to this episode. We need your help so we can continue to try at TBL. So for more information on where you can find and subscribe to this podcast, visit www.trybeginnersluck.com. And don't forget, whenever you try Beginner's Luck, you always win.